Ronald Lauder has asked me to read a declaration, and I pray that you will not take that away from my own time.
You have the 30 seconds.
Thank you. This is a declaration that has been prepared on the occasion of this governing board, and I'm going to read you from a poor piece of paper what the contents are, but there is the original, which I will show you upon completion of my report, which is a magnificent looking document, which we are going to ask delegates and other guests from every country to sign that document, and if there are more than one person in a particular country, we leave it to you to decide who's going to sign the document. And John Malkinson will be supervising it. Now to my report. I thought I would do it. Sorry. Yes. We, the delegates to the 2010 meeting of the Governing Board of the World Jewish Congress, mindful of our abiding commitment to the security, rights, and well-being of the State of Israel and Jewish communities around the world, conscious of the painful lessons of our history, troubled by the gathering storm of anti-Semitism and the growing delegitimization and demonization of Israel, yet resolute and determined to protect and uphold the interests of Jews everywhere, have assembled on this day, the 21st of Elul, 5770, August the 31st, 2010, in Jerusalem, the ancient and eternal capital of the Jewish people, and do solemnly declare our steadfast and unwavering support for Israel as the nation-state of the Jewish people, our profound conviction that Israel's gift to the world of ethical monotheism is the soul and the conscience of the democratic West, and serves as a beacon of light and truth for people everywhere. Our unconditional commitment to uphold Israel's inalienable right to defend itself against all threats and acts of force. Our sincere and most vivid sense of kinship with Jerusalem, Israel's 3,000-year-old and eternal capital, as a cornerstone of our Jewish identity. Our heartfelt yearning for peace and justice for Israel, the Jewish people, and the broader community of nations. Our abiding respect for the holy tradition of Judaism and its sages, who bestowed upon the world a moral foundation for law and society. Our unyielding commitment to the principle that an injustice to one Jew is an injustice to all Jews, and that we will not rest until the rights of the Jewish people and their nation state are accorded the honor they so richly deserve. We pray for peace and ask God to bless us and guide us in our work. And we, the undersigned, endorse the declaration and pledge to abide by it to the best of our abilities. And I'll give you a quick glance at the certificate.
It'll be outside for you to sign it, and one person per country.
Correct.
Please, because there's only so much room.
Correct.
Can we put the watch from 0 again?
Okay, and now to my report. I once had a chairman who used to say, everything that had to be said has been said, but not everybody has said it. And I propose to keep my remarks short because during the course of the next 2 days, you will be hearing a lot about the World Jewish Congress's plans for the future and how we are proposing to address the emergencies of the day and how we are to address the priorities that we have chosen for your later approval of what we stand for, who we are, and how we are going to achieve our objectives. I'm happy to also report to you that we have, attending our governing board meetings, over 350 persons. That, in the records of the Brussels office, is the largest attendance at our governing board meetings for the past 25 years. What this means to me is that the World Jewish Congress is back in business, fully in action, and ready to move to the next step, which is to address the serious issues which are facing not only Israel but also the Jewish people. You will be hearing reports shortly from several working groups that have been working in altogether 5 stages of a strategic review which began early in 1990 and is culminating today, and you will be receiving a document which records all our deliberations and all our discussions and all our recommendations. When I look at the book, it looks to me like it has more words in it than War and Peace. But I think it will give you a full picture of what we have been about. We emerge now in full recovery of all the difficulties that we experienced in the past. We emerge in readiness in order to arrive conveniently at a time when we face one of the most difficult periods in the history of the modern day Jewish people. The Iran danger, the danger of delegitimization, are not the only 2 items of our concern. Bearing in mind our intertwined history with the history of the Shoah, we are also extremely concerned, of course, that there are still dark clouds over Europe because of the unfinished business of restitution which is owed to the Jewish people for what was stolen from them during the communist and the Shoah, the communist era and the Shoah. And I want to assure the survivor populations all over the world that this is an issue that we will not forget, and you will hear more about that when we come to that part of the strategic review. I want to also echo Kobe's remarks about Ronald Lauder. Ronald's gift this year approaches $4 million, and but it's not just about money. It's about Ronald's time. He's virtually a full-time president, and as he keeps on reminding me, I'm an active president. Ronald spends most of his time traveling all over the world, advocating on our behalf, meeting heads of state, interceding with captains of industry on the question of Iranian sanctions, appealing to heads of state when there are neo-Nazi marches in their region. I remember the time when Ronald wrote a letter to every member of the Serbian parliament when there was going to be a neo-Nazi march in Novi Sad, and in fact that march was stopped, in interceding when there was a neo-Nazi march which was intended to walk through the ghetto of Prague, the Jewish ghetto of Prague, exactly on the anniversary of Kristallnacht, and Ronald interceded very strongly. Ronald, your efforts on behalf of the World Jewish Congress are much appreciated. You followed the shoes of a well-known philanthropist, Edgar Bronfman, and I can assure you that today the brand of the World Jewish Congress is now a brand led by a lauder, and you have completed the necessary initial process and have done it with flying colors, and for that we congratulate you. At the same time, if you look around you, I think you will find quite a large number of younger people of the younger generation. I believe that there are 22 members here of the World Jewish Diplomatic Corps, and 11 of them are 11 of them have come representing the cities in which they live. I would ask all members of the World Jewish Diplomatic Corps to please stand up for a moment and receive our and the gentleman in the light grey suit, Adam Koffler, is the chairman and the founder of the World Jewish Diplomatic Corps. Thank you. The World Jewish Congress is far ahead of most organizations in bringing into our governance structure and our government systems people who are destined to become the future leaders of the World Jewish Congress and other organizations. They are a dedicated group of people. They apply their considerable, varied skills to the problems that we face together. They have scored many significant successes on our behalf, starting with the work with the Interpol in order to issue red alerts to arrest those who were responsible for the Armia bombing. Another milestone which we will never forget. And we had a long discussion last night how to specially honor the World Jewish Diplomatic Corps in an appropriate way. And we reached the conclusion that we will be conveying to them or conferring on them some kind of status like a special affiliate, and the details will be discussed in due course for presentation to the next executive committee meeting. Our meetings ended very late this morning, and therefore we were not able to deal with it fully. But I believe that it is a due recognition for the quality, the performance, and the future expectations that we have of the World Jewish Diplomatic Corps. During the architecture of the governing board meeting, one person stands out among our professional staff for designing the kind of program that you will be experiencing in the next 2 days, and that is a gentleman called Dan Dyker. Dan Dyker was appointed by me a year ago as a consultant and more recently as a director for strategic affairs. He comes to us with a long and excellent curriculum vitae, and together with Eduardo's oversight and monitoring, constant monitoring, and together with John Malkinson's logistical design, all three have done a magnificent job. Is John in the audience? Stand, please, Dan. Is Hannah Kimchi here? Is Hannah Kimchi here from the Jerusalem office? Well, I would like to thank them all for their excellent work in preparing these meetings. And so that, bearing in mind the shortness of time, is an abbreviated report. And thank you for listening.